I always thought my biggest problem in life was slow internet. But that was before I became a walking Wi-Fi router for a fairy. It started one random evening. I was sitting in my apartment, scrolling through my phone when my Wi-Fi suddenly cut out. Frustrated, I checked the router, everything seemed fine. Then, I noticed something off. A faint glow flickered near my laptop, and the air around me felt static, like before a lightning storm. That's when she appeared. A tiny, iridescent fairy hovered in front of me, her wings shimmering like pixels loading on a slow connection. She looked panicked, pressing buttons on an invisible screen in the air. She pointed at me, eyes wide. You have the perfect signal. I blinked. Excuse me. Before I could react, she darted toward me and touched my forehead. A warm sensation spread through my body, like a low-voltage shock. My phone instantly reconnected. So did my laptop. In fact, all my devices suddenly had 5 bars, and the internet was running faster than ever. Ah, much better, the fairy sighed, stretching her arms. I was completely offline. Do you know how terrifying that is for someone like me? I was still frozen, my brain buffering. Someone like you. She rolled her eyes. I'm a data fairy. We travel through digital frequencies, hopping between signals. But my connection dropped, and I needed a new access point. Wait, you're saying I'm a human Wi-Fi router? Yes. Congratulations. You have the perfect energy signature. She grinned. You're now my personal hotspot. At first, it didn't seem so bad. In fact, my internet had never been faster. Videos loaded instantly, downloads finished in seconds, and my connection never dropped. It was like having the ultimate fiber optic network built into my body. But then, weird things started happening. I woke up the next morning exhausted, even though I had slept for 10 hours. My reflection in the mirror looked a little paler, my eyes slightly sunken. Shrugging it off as stress, I went to work, only to find that every device around me, phones, laptops, even smart TVs, connected to me automatically. My boss's laptop, connected. The coffee shop's security cameras, connected. A guy's smartwatch across the room, connected. It was like I had become a walking signal tower, broadcasting data to everything nearby. And the worst part, I could feel it, every notification, every download, every time someone streamed a video, it all drained me. I confronted the fairy that night. She was lounging on my desk, watching tiny holographic screens float around her. Hey, is this thing reversible? Because I feel like a drained battery. She barely glanced at me. Oh, don't be dramatic. You're just adjusting. Adjusting. I fell asleep at work today. My skin looks like I haven't seen sunlight in years. She paused, finally looking guilty. Okay, maybe there's a tiny side effect. Tiny, I groaned. You're sucking the life out of me. She huffed. Fine, I'll tweak the settings. But I still need a connection, and you're the best one I've found. Why me? Because, she said, hopping onto my shoulder, your energy runs on a unique wavelength. It's strong, reliable, and let's be honest, if you didn't have good signal, would I even be here? She had a point. Days passed, and my exhaustion grew worse. No matter how much I slept, I always felt drained. My thoughts became sluggish, my movements slower. Meanwhile, the fairy was thriving. Her glow was brighter, her powers stronger. That's when things took a turn for the worse. One night, while I was mindlessly scrolling through my phone, a strange notification popped up. Unknown network detected. Attempting connection. Then another. Foreign entity accessing signal. My screen flickered, and suddenly, the fairy shot up from her resting spot. Oh no, what's happening? She darted in front of me, her wings buzzing in panic. Someone's trying to hijack our connection. Hijack. Like hacking. Not just hacking. They're trying to steal your energy. Before I could process that, the lights in my apartment flickered. My phone vibrated violently, and a deep, robotic voice echoed from my speakers. Human Wi-Fi detected. Accessing. Now. A chill ran down my spine. The fairy grabbed my collar. Run. Where? Anywhere but here. The walls of my apartment glowed with strange symbols. The air hummed like an overloaded circuit. I sprinted outside, feeling the invisible tether of my signal stretching thin. The fairy clung to my shoulder, her glow dimming. They found us, she whispered. And they won't stop until they drain you completely. We ran for hours, but no matter where I went, strange devices pinged my location. Billboards flickered when I passed. Drones hovered overhead. Even the streetlights seemed to follow my movements. The fairy explained that my signal had been detected by entities lurking in the digital realm, rogue ice, cyber spirits, and black market data dealers who wanted to harness my energy for their own use. We need to cut the connection, she said. Permanently. How? I gasped. You're the one who made me like this. She hesitated, then sighed. There's only one way, but it's dangerous. I didn't care. At this rate, I'd be a shriveled husk before sunrise. Do it. She placed both hands on my temples, her wings flaring as she muttered a complex incantation. My body felt like it was overheating, every nerve buzzing with static. Then, darkness. I woke up on my couch, feeling normal. No buzzing, no strange connections, no exhaustion. The fairy was perched on my phone, looking drained but relieved. It worked, she said weakly. You're offline. I checked my devices. No strange networks, no auto connections. For the first time in weeks, I felt like myself again. But something was different. I looked at the fairy. What about you? She smiled faintly. I burned out my connection to protect you. I'm offline too. I frowned. So, what happens now? She sighed, stretching her tired wings. Now, I learn how to live without Wi-Fi. I laughed, shaking my head. Welcome to my world. And just like that, a data fairy and a former human Wi-Fi router started the weirdest friendship in history, offline.